We've been working on this, I mean, right up until the wire, man, let me tell you. And so, tremendous levels of automation, all controlled by a single button push. And that's the thing is that you'll click the button and everything will just kind of start to go, but what's happening in the background is really tremendous. And so this is just it's completely different than any of the other programs, and it's also powered by Serenity Talk. So not only can you do the daily pulse, excuse me, but it will also open up a version of Serenity Talk. So if you want to add anything to your daily pulse, you can. And I'm going to show you some cool new features that we've added to all of this that will probably help you out a lot. And how easy all of it can be to use. So let me share my screen, okay? And for some of you, you might have seen we released it maybe an hour or two ago, and we've been updating it ever since. But here it is, the Daily Pulse, just underneath the Serenity Talk button on your main Serenity Talk page. And so how easy is the Daily Pulse to use? I think that's probably where we should start at. And this is how easy it is to use. I just come in, I click the button, and Serenity pops up, and she's going to do all the calculations for me. I don't have to say anything to her at all. She's going to set my daily pulse for 12 hours is the default time, but I'm going to show you how you can change that if you want to, so you can regulate your daily pulse a little better. And so it's going to take her about 20, 30 seconds to get it all going. But if you notice, she opens up into the chat. And so there's a few little messages here. And so the theme for the daily pulse today will be harmonized liver chi and calm internal wind. And Serenity is going to give me a reflection on what that means, like philosophically. She's going to try to help me out mentally, emotionally, because maybe I don't know what that means. And so she says, today, notice the steady pulse beneath your thoughts, your breath, heartbeat, the quiet rhythm that keeps you grounded. When the day's noise invites worry, reframe interruptions as an invitation to return to center rather than a failure of focus. Be gentle with yourself. Each small pause is a thread stitching calm into the fabric of your day. And so she's going to give you kind of, this kind, thoughtful insight on some things that may help you based on whatever the daily pulse theme is going to be. And then she's going to give you words to ponder. Quiet courage grows in small daily choices. Choose kindness, courtesy, and truth, and watch ordinary life quietly become extraordinary. And so it's kind of like a little fortune cookie explanation. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's deep, but it's always on point with where you're at. And that's what you'll notice is very, very customized. You might not understand it because I'm reading this for me, but when it does it for you, you'll see what I'm talking about. And so then the next message is your daily pulse is now active for, and then it tells you the runtime that it's going to run for. And it says, would you like to add anything to today's daily pulse session? And of course, if I want to add anything to it, I can. I can just type it in here and send it to her, and it will go. And so so that's as difficult as the whole thing is. It's super, super easy. And do I have to look at any of this? No, I don't. It all gets put into the pulse automatically. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to read anything. I could have just hit the daily pulse button and let it start and then go about my day. So it saves me a lot of time, especially if I'm in a hurry. And the Daily Pulse program is a very large, complex program that hits the body on many general areas that most bodies need work on. So it's just a daily routine that's very helpful. And I've been running it like 12 hours a day for a couple, 3 days, and then I'll take a day off, something like that. So, because I've noticed, it is very strong. And so I recommend trying it out for maybe like 8 to 12 hours a day. Some people, might do more than one. I found that, one, especially at 12 hours, was definitely enough. There is a couple of new buttons that I'd like to show you. And if you look at the top portion of the chat here, you'll see these up arrows. And if I mouse over it, you'll see it says export chat. And then if you see this button here, it says import chat. So, so this is, kicking it out and this is kicking it in. And what that means is I can export anything that's in the chat to a file that can be saved locally. And I can upload it later, and eventually you'll be able to upload it into any other version of Serenity in MetaBalance. So, if you like this protocol or you like whatever protocol it is, you can export it and then you can go to like Shun Shin Tao Life Coach and upload it there or something. And so it's very easy. You just click on the button if you want to export it, and you'll basically you can give it a name if you want to. You can call it something very specific. If I hit export, it's going to pull it up and it's going to say, okay, where do you want to save this at? And so I've got all this stuff going on here, and I can save it here if I want to. And if I want to call it back up, then I can import chat, and I go to downloads, which is where it downloaded to. And there it is in the talk chat. I'm going to double click on that. And as you can see, here's the exact conversation as it sits now. And I can choose to replace what the current conversation is in my Serenity chat, or I can just amend it to the end of it. And so I can add it on to the end of the chat, or I can just totally replace the chat either way. And so I'll append it so you can see what that looks like. So I'm just adding it into the end. So here's the first messages from Serenity. And then here is the amended version. And so repeated. So that's how easy it is to add in or download, save, and then upload a chat. Now, of course, like I said, all of that is unnecessary because the new automation feature is just hit the daily pulse and go, and you're off to the races. Now, some people might not like the 12-hour runtime. That might be a little too much for them. And so for those people, we're going to come up to settings at the very top of the screen, and I'm going to click on settings, and I can change the hours of the runtime of either Serenity Talk or the Daily Pulse just by changing this session. Now, this will change both of their settings. So because more than likely, if the Daily Pulse is too much at 12 hours, you probably have your Serenity set for less than that. So the other thing about that is not only can we change the time here, but the Daily Pulse Ponder, which is Serenity giving you all these little tidbits of information and picking a daily theme and all this kind of stuff, which we're going to be expanding on in very cool ways in the future. If that is just not your bailiwick and you don't need words of wisdom or encouragement or whatever, and you find that irritating for some reason, you can turn that off by just clicking that button and then clicking save. And now I'm going to click Daily Pulse again. And when she loads this time, you see she goes right into it, and there's no chat. And so I can go here and expand the chat, and all we see is Serenity's initial, "Hey, I'm here to support you" statement. And so that's it in a nutshell. We tried to make it really simple for everybody. Adding the Daily Pulse Ponder, it does amplify and focus the session more, but it is completely not necessary. So it's a really nice inspirational thing that kind of helps you center your mind and your emotions. And I think that you'll find it a very beneficial factor. So yeah, so that's the Daily Pulse altogether. So very simple. And let me show you that one more time because I just want to show you that this is not just a regular tool. This actually does have Serenity Talk, powered in the background. So you can see how the the Serenity chat bar, all this is this is Serenity Talk. This is not the regular Serenity chat, which is great, but it's using the same engine exactly, word for word. So whether you want to, talk to her directly or whether you want to type in the issue, you could do any of those things just like you would with the regular Serenity Talk.